Hello, devotees. That's better. So I spent the last 7 days attempting to master Mavuika, who in my opinion is the best DPS character in the game. In this video, I will show my progression with Mavuika starting from the very first day where I was the most confused. What? All the way to the final day where I finally mastered Mavuika. Surely this is good. 2.4 mil, I think. Don't think this boss even, stood a chance. I can just do this as well. Extend my burst. She just cleans house. Everything is, not safe. Mavuika is Genshin Impact's most unique character by far, with a completely different elemental burst system that we currently know. Besides that, Mavuika might also be one of the best characters to have in your exploration team, especially in Natlan, because she can travel through land, air, and sea with her motorcycle. As I learned throughout the week, this was both a blessing and a curse. In this video, I will also go over some special tips and tricks with how I avoided some of my mistakes, and how I grew more and more accustomed to her, and things I personally learned while I tried her out in a variety of team comps throughout the past 7 days. So throughout the challenge, I also set a few goals and milestones for Mavuika. The first one is to try Mavuika as both a main and sub DPS. Her playstyle is one of a kind, which you will be able to see throughout this video. My second goal is to deal at least 500,000 damage with one hit with Mavuika. This number might seem a little bit steep, but trust me, Mavuika's damage potential is pretty busted. My final goal for this challenge is to learn something new with Mavuika. Going into this character without knowing any prior details for her was an interesting experience. And in these past 7 days, I have a lot to share in this video, so sit back and enjoy this video. Here's how I mastered Mavuika in 7 days. So starting out the first day, I enjoyed a little bit of motorcycling around Natlan with Mavuika. It was pretty interesting seeing this because it's almost un-Genshin-like. But eventually I will get used to it. I put on some random artifacts for her and decided to try her out in combat while giving my first impressions. Well, it's time to take Mavuika down for a spin. She's really just attacking the enemies with her motorcycle. Also her burst. Nice screenshot damage. Oh, I guess I'm just too fiery that I just burned myself. But I guess her burst is still working and her skill is also working even though she actually died. Good to know. Yeah, excuse my bad gameplay. It was me trying her out for the first time. Anyways, I brought a vaporized team with Kachina to see how it performs. Having a Natlan character in a team is very important. Every time Kachina kind of bounces around in her turbo twirly, I can see Mavuika's burst kind of getting higher and higher since her burst works differently than normal energy. So Kachina's role in the team besides buffing my team is fueling Mavuika's elemental burst. By consuming knife soul points or dealing damage with normal attacks, Mavuika will gain fighting spirit, which is what is used for her burst. I'm not going too in depth with her kit in this video, but I do have a guide explaining everything in detail for Mavuika, so feel free to check the video out after this. And I'll put a video link in the description and pinned comments so you won't forget. Anyways, I continued a few more rounds of testing with Kachina. Alright, her burst is maxed. Wait, I'm only level 1, okay. Chill, I'm already doing 25k burst damage. Well, not sure if I really messed anything up, but I think that was also without vaporize. Yeah, you saw that correctly. With only artifacts, my Mavuika was able to deal 25k damage with her burst at just level 1. So this might just be a preview of what's to come once I finish building her. Just running around the overworld was also a bit challenging if I wanted to test out Mavuika's kit, as I was still getting used to what she does. Okay, the enemies all died too quickly, so I can't really test out anything. To fix this, I decided to challenge a world boss since they'll have more health. I believe her off-field E-taps can also automatically attack. Okay, so that just attacked by itself. Oh, gotta watch out actually. Let's try this again. We were able to get a few hits in, thankfully, since the boss is thick. Oh, she does help Furina vaporize a good amount, so that's good. Our burst was also coming back at a decent speed with Kachina, but with Mavuika still at level 1, Furina was the one that did most of the work. Oh, I didn't crit. You basically just spin around and I guess profit. I also tried out the Mavuika fall experiment to see if she'll survive. Alright, let's try the cliff test and see if she'll be able to withstand falling down with her motorcycle. Okay, so there are a little bit of fall damage, but it doesn't really take like the full health. Good to know. After that, I basically just went around Natlan and got more and more used to her skills. I ended the day leveling up Mavuika and ascending her to level 40. I also leveled her weapon up as well, and just logged out for the day. I began the second day by trying Mavuika out in a domain. I tried the same team to test things out. Okay, let's see how this will work out. Inside domains as well, so I don't think I'll have any phlogiston. Alright, let's see if I can vape something. 30k, not bad. So I actually didn't realize that at first, but I was able to vaporize 68k damage with her burst. I haven't even leveled up her talents yet, so she definitely can pack a punch with her burst. During the second run of the domain, I ran into a slight problem. So if only Kachina, I think we actually need more than one rotations in order to get Mavuika's burst out. No bit inconvenient. So yeah, Kachina and Mavuika cannot use enough Niso points to get a fighting spirit to charge up fully. So we'll definitely need to look at other options for Mavuika. After that, I decided to try Shilonen out with this team, and I changed everything. So I'm still trying to get used to how Mavuika's fighting spirit works and see how fast you can get her burst back, especially at 0 constellations. So Mavuika can also get fighting spirit based off of her own elemental skill. And if I use a Shilonen... Okay, that's like 1.5 fighting spirit already. If I just use Furina's normal attack a little bit, should be able to get it back. But interesting. Yeah, you can see how fast Mavuika's burst generates back the instant we use Shilonen. So that was a pretty big difference. So yeah, from my understanding, if I just unleash my burst real quick, then switch off. Shilonen does give a lot of fighting spirit. Like I already have 1.5 already again. Oh, it's max again. So it's like night and day compared to Kachina. I also went to test out how much damage I could deal with Shilonen in our team. I returned to the domain with Shilonen, and this time things were different. Alright, vape. Solid. Yep, with just day 2 and my character being at level 40, we managed to hit our first 100k damage. With Layla, I decided to try and see Mavuika's potential with Melt. With just the reaction damage, she was able to deal a decent chunk, but I was still not satisfied. I went to fight another world boss to see what would happen if I was fully buffed, but disaster struck. Yeah, that was a bit awkward. Anyways, I decided it was time to ascend Mavuika again, and I also raised her weapon to level 60 before ending my day. So I began day 3 by assessing what I personally learned so far with Mavuika. So far from my understanding of Mavuika's kit is basically kinda like her right now, driving pretty drunk. So yeah, still figuring things out. Oh, hello. Well, a bird is mad because I'm riding a motorcycle, I guess. I also tried out a team that will later become one of my favorites for Mavuika, which is the Auraran Overload team. At this point, I was feeling a bit heroic, so I decided to challenge one of the Natlan's local legends while testing out this team. Alright, so I'm kind of curious to see how much fighting spirit Mavuika can gain while using Auraran as the main Natlan character. And I'm using a Sheriff's team because Overload is also pretty good. I guess I'll challenge this local legend boss, but I'm hoping that I won't get like killed or anything because my HP is a little bit low still and this boss hits a lot. Good chunk of health. So yeah, let's just see. So Auraran's Hypersense also works if any character in the team consumes Niso points. And in this case, Mavuika consumes it passively when her skill is out. We actually gained a good amount of fighting spirit within one rotation. Does gain a good amount, I would say. Oh, the boss is moving away now. Hello, come back. This boss was a bit of a hassle to fight against since she moves around very often, which makes it hard for me to hit her. This boss is definitely very, very good at evading all my attacks. Alright, I just want to burst him to see. Still pretty nice damage though, all things considered. Damage-wise, I was able to hit around 70k even at level 50, which I didn't expect from an overload team. So that was a welcoming surprise. We also managed to take half of the boss's HP as well. So I'm trying to get used to Mavuika's control for sure. She feels a lot more wild than Morlani, and also I didn't crit there, unfortunately. What happened? I just got rammed over. Well, I actually managed to do half HP by not really like attempting to min-max my rotations and everything, so I will consider that as a win. For now at least. Yep, mark my words. I'll get a last laugh against this boss. Anyways, I decided it was time to start leveling up Mavuika's talents. I could only level him up to 4 since my character level was still at 50. After that, I immediately decided to test my damage out in a domain. And we managed to hit around 75k with Mavuika's burst. To improve her more, I also decided to level up some artifacts for her. Alright, I'm gonna try leveling up some artifacts. And hopefully I can get some good lines on the Elemental Mastery one since I actually want to try her out with like more vapes. And maybe Elemental Mastery will do more damage. Okay, I got attack, which is not bad since attack is also pretty good. Okay, nice. Crit damage. Crit rate. Not the best, but I won't complain. Oh, wow. This is actually such a good roll. Wow. Nothing on HP. So we'll enhance this flower. You know what? Just get this all the way up to level 20. Hopefully we get some crit damage lines. Okay, 2 crit damage to 2 crit rate, so not bad. This artifact won't be bad as long as we avoid the energy. Can't believe I want to not have any energy lines now. And that's actually considered a bad line. Okay, I mean, at least I avoided it and I got 2 crit rates, so it's not the end of the world, but it's an instant upgrade to what I have right now. So this is my build, I guess, for now. I am overcapped with crit rate though, so I do need to change my build a little bit more. And since the weapon isn't even maxed yet, I'll probably have more crit rate. So I'll essentially get 100% crit rate after I max my weapon. Afterwards, I continue to level up her weapon to 70, and also her talents. With my newest power boost, I decided to try out a free-to-play team for Mavuika to see how it works. Surprisingly, I was able to melt 140k, which was pretty nice considering I was using a free-to-play team comp. With a fully buffed up Mavuika in this team, I was able to deal a record-shattering damage. Ooh, that was pretty big. I also tried using Mavuika's motorcycle outside of Natlan to see how effective it is. We're gonna try to climb up this mountain and just see how far we can go without resistance, especially. What? I was stuck. There we go. Okay, not bad. We made it like halfway through the mountain, I guess. So I'll consider that as a win. Yeah, definitely a win. I then challenged Andreas to see how fast I could defeat one of the old version 1.0 bosses in the game. Alright, please don't run away. 300k. Alright. That's nice. Wolf got completely decimated. You could argue that Genshin doesn't really have power creep characters. But nowadays, the 1.0 bosses are so easy that it takes one hit to be able to kill them. At the end of the day, I decided to just level up Mavuika all the way to level 80. And for the weapon, I decided to go with a Serpent Spine to see if the weapon works on Mavuika. I used the Primo Jove ship as my punching bag to see how this will turn out. And let's just say, it worked out nicely. 200k? Not bad. So, I think that's like the most damage I've done so far. And that is with Serpent Spine. And I think I had max stacks as well. So, good to see that a 4-star weapon, although not free to play, can actually do this much damage. So I started the 4th day by enhancing Mavuika's weapon to level 80. I went with a vaporized team comp to challenge the Hydro Topa. Damage wise, I was easily hitting over 300k without any efforts. And I simply finished the boss with the rest of her burst. I also went to challenge the Fontaine local legend to try out the vaporized team comp out even more. This boss is a bit more dangerous since it could also vaporize us back when we stand on Bennett's circle. So we had to burst it down pretty quickly. Well, just want some revenge, okay? Never mind! It still one-shots me. We managed to do half of the HP before Mavuika got sniped, but I wasn't about to give up. I decided to retry this boss again, this time with a plan. So instead of focusing on damage, I also tried my best to survive, which was a great strategy against this boss. We were still doing pretty big damage each burst, and eventually we were able to finish the boss off. After that, I went to fight a turtle local legend. The boss had a shield, so we had to destroy that before we could deal damage to it. Besides that, its electro lightning also hits very hard, but thankfully my team's mobility can evade those lightning strikes pretty easily. After destroying the shield, we just had to get our burst back. So I did my standard rotations. Let's do like a burst. Hopefully I have a chance. Nope, nope. You know what? Oh, I missed it again. The timing was a bit unfortunate, but eventually we were able to finish the boss. So on day 5, I tried out a variety of teams with Mavuika mostly as a sub DPS. One of the many good things about Mavuika is her flexible playstyle, so you can also get her to play a supportive role in the team. I started out with an overload team with Chlorine. This team actually doesn't have any Natron characters, but since Chlorine focuses on fast normal attacks with her playstyle, Mavuika was able to get a decent amount of burst by the end of the rotation. Even with a sub DPS build, Mavuika can also assist the main DPS with her burst damage, which was a nice bonus. Overall, I think this team is a good alternative to people that don't have Natron characters. And Overload in general is actually very underrated in terms of team. So if you have these characters, definitely try them out yourself. Next up, I paired up Navia with Mavuika. I tried this boss out against the Natlan local legend, and this team was actually really good. Both Navia and Mavuika plays off each other nicely, and they can both take turns dealing damage, which makes the team really fun to play with. Survivability was also top notch, since with Navia and Chiori, we can generate crystal shields to protect ourselves with, so the boss couldn't really do anything to this team. Eventually, we were able to finish the boss off without any casualties. I also went to challenge the ballerina bosses in Fontaine. It's crazy to think a 4.0 boss can get deleted that fast, but I guess the power creep is real, since this team easily decimates this boss without them having a chance to fight back. Afterwards, I decided to try a Kenichi team out with Mavuika. Since Kenichi is a Natron character, I'll also be able to charge Mavuika's fighting spirit pretty quickly, so this is a very good team comp. I went to challenge the Dorito boss with a simple burning team. Damage-wise, I was easily hitting over 6 digits with Kenichi, while having 2 sub-DPS characters to help out with damage. So this battle was over before I knew it. To make things a little bit harder, I went to find Rocky, another local legend boss in Fontaine. The boss was definitely more challenging, as he has way more HP, so I was prepared for a long fight. He also deals a lot of damage, so I had to be careful as well. Mavuika pairs really well with Kenichi because of the burning reaction, so we could substitute Xiangling with her, and we don't really have to worry about keeping up with Xiangling's burst or micromanaging the energy otherwise. So this team overall felt much better to play. In the end, we were also able to finish Rocky off easily. After that, I tested out my damage against more bosses, and you could probably already guess, this boss was also a cakewalk. Overall, if you don't want to worry about Xiangling's burst, you could definitely try Mavuika with Kenichi. They just complement each other really well because Kenichi is a Natron character, whereas Mavuika can help with the burning reactions. Finally, the last team I tried out with Mavuika was the Moalani team. I took this team to a variety of different bosses as well to see how well they work together. Starting off with, you guessed it, another local legend. So similar to Kenichi's team, Mavuika's role is basically just to apply pyro to enemies for the on-field DPS. In this case, Moalani do the damage. Liam is actually a pretty dangerous boss to fight, since he drops a lot of elemental damage. And paired up with Bennett, our team gets overloaded a lot, so navigating through all of that could be tricky. Mavuika definitely pairs well with Moalani though, and I was able to vaporize every shark bite. This team is definitely very high investment though, since it requires 3 5-star characters. But if you wish for all of the Natron characters, it's definitely fun to switch between all of them as they have perfect synergy with each other. I decided to finish the day off by doing the Ascension domain for world level 9. Going through the domain was also pretty fast and easy, since we are using Natron characters. Against the monsters, this team worked through them pretty fast as well, sparing no time. In the end, we completed the domain and raised our world level to 9 and ended the day here. Finally, on day 6, I max ascended Mavuika and leveled her all the way to 90. I also did the same for her weapon as well, so let's admit that we can finally play her to her full potential. Before we swap her back to DPS, I tried out a Grizzly team. I went on to challenge the Raiden Shogun boss fight, and I expected no less. Damage-wise, Grizzly was able to deal 100k easily with all of his punches, and it was pretty satisfying seeing big melt numbers. Since he also attacks with mainly normal attacks, he helps Mavuika refill her fighting spirit, which was a nice bonus. In the end, my sub DPS build for Mavuika also melted for 80k. I also took this team into a Nathalan night trial against the Capybara boss. Don't ask why my Grizzly only has 50 HP. I may have tried this already and failed at it, but my Mavuika is doing actually pretty good damage. 25k without any reaction damage. So, just that alone, I'm pretty impressed. This boss was perfect because it had tons of HP for me to damage test this team. So we wouldn't have to worry about finishing the fight too quickly. But yeah, Grizzly definitely works with Mavuika really well. We still did have our fair share of struggles though, but you can pretty much expect that since it's a local legend. That's pretty much what happened last time. But eventually, we were still able to beat it in the end. I also tried out a Ganyu team with Mavuika. With this team, Mavuika can also replace Xiangling, because Ganyu can also melt the boss perfectly with Mavuika's skill. Although I wasn't critting much because of my build. It was a nice throwback to version 1.2 though, since Ganyu was considered as the best DPS in the game during that time. So it kinda made me feel nostalgic playing this team. Overall, a sub DPS Mavuika is like a nice little Xiangling alternative, but it felt great being able to use Ganyu again after all these years. Alright, we're back in 2025. To start out the final day of this challenge, I decided it was time to go all in and activate every one of Mavuika's constellations. Going around Liyue, I kinda felt bad for the enemies that are about to cross path with Mavuika, because they are in for a surprise. Anyways, I brought Citlali with me for a Melt Mavuika team, which in my opinion is Mavuika's best team. In a way, I kind of feel bad for this whale, but I'm not really sure if it will actually last more than one burst. So we'll see. I want to just wait a little bit for the whale to actually be targetable before I actually burst though, since right now it's kind of hard. But if there's one thing I really want though for C6 Mavuika is to definitely make her be able to one-shot a whale. Because that is something I definitely haven't done yet. And this will be a pretty nice thing if I can do that. No, it's gonna run away, please. Oh, never mind, it's dead. That was like 1.8 million damage. Yep, you saw that correctly. Mavuika was able to melt over 1 million damage with ease. So you can just one-shot weekly bosses with her. Even in the overworld, Mavuika's skill can also just clean out any enemies in your paths, so enemies can't even get close. I don't know what these damage are. Like, it's more pyro attacks. Is that like C6 or is it before C6? Like, her elemental skill have like some kind of other follow-up attack. That's actually pretty good. Well, sorry for dropping by. I kind of just want to bully the Fatuis. I also went to see who is the more superior Archon by challenging Raiden Shogun. And you can already guess how this turned out. Okay, Raiden Shogun. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to one-shot it. But she keeps moving. Can I actually burst? I didn't even get to melt. I guess Inazuma bosses are power crept by Mavuika now. Like, sure, I guess. Well, I know one person can actually last long enough, and it's the local legend I'm actually approaching. Rocky. Oh. So bad, like, there's some treasure holders are just collateral damage for me. So let's see if Rocky can put up a fight with us. Hopefully I'll be able to do a proper rotation though. Citlali is doing so much damage as well. 1.8 mil again. So I'm pretty sure that's like the highest damage I can do. What? This local legend doesn't even stand a chance. I mean, granted it was C6, but Citlali though? She does a pretty nice, like, cryo nuke damage as well. And like, that's not really her full power because I don't even have R5. And her artifact stats are like, okay. Still definitely leaves more to be desired. And it could definitely be better as well. Okay, but what if I do this? This is definitely not achievable for everyone, but with the amount of attack increase and crit damage increase, I want to see how insane this will be. So we immediately get... I don't think we got any crit damage over here, but it's probably just like you had to use someone to skill. Okay. Good to know. I decided to nerf my Citlali by changing into a level 1 weapon, and went on to test out my damage. Well, I found a perfect boss to test this out with. But I'm just hoping that Scarra doesn't actually die before I can actually burst, because that might happen. It started off pretty good, as I was able to one-shot the first phase of the fight. Okay, I'll just do this real quick. But sometimes, things don't always go your way, as I made a mistake. My burst is already back. Wow, that was quick. Wait, no! I'm actually doing damage to the boss. I don't want to do that. I actually can't let the boss take more damage. Yeah, since I wanted to see how much damage I could do, I'm afraid that Mavuika won't even get a chance to burst in the final boss phase. So fingers crossed our characters aren't too strong. No! No, 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 no! I'm kind of upset. Well, I guess this is what you call suffering from success. Anyways, I went back to challenge the Capybara boss, since it can tank a few hits from me, surely, right? Alright. 222707 or something like that. Honestly, with how much I struggle in the past against this boss, the Capybara deserves it, okay? And Citlali though, like, I'm pretty sure I saw her do like 100k. She doesn't even have a like level 90 weapon. I'm trying to make her as weak as possible. But seriously? So after that, I pretty much just went around fighting local legends, like their common monsters in Tevat. I am back. Just hoping there's no weaknesses right now. Damage-wise, around 2 mils. Wait, it's already dead. Interesting. I didn't even get to show off that much. I also went to try out my damage against the turtle. Okay, turtle time. Yeah, kind of messed up my rotation. Yup. Alright, sorry to bother you, Mr. Turtle. I decided to retreat since I didn't properly do my rotations correctly. Anyways, after I reset, I went back in. Alright, let's try this again. I also didn't crit as well. So, a little bit unfortunate. Surely this is good. 2.4 mil, I think. Don't think this boss even, like, stood a chance. I could just do this as well. Extend my burst. Should we just cleanse house? Everything is, like, not safe. Oh, look over there. There's, like, 2 water balls lying there, right? Even with our reactions. Okay, I'm actually dying, but... yeah, she rules Natron for real. Last but not least, I challenged my last enemy. Honestly, if there's any C6 character that's too overpowered, Mavuika is definitely up there in the list. Over the past week, I definitely had tons of fun trying out Mavuika. Even at C0, she made a very big impact in my teams, and I feel like I'll definitely keep her in my team for a very long time. Natron characters are all very unique in their own ways, and you can perceive it as both a good and a bad thing. Personally, I came to embrace Mavuika's motorcycle gameplay, and even though it seemed un-Genshin-like, I think it adds a unique spin to the game. Mavuika also fills a lot of void with building teams, so you can bring Xiangling into a different team if you decided to go the sub DPS route with her. All in all, I had a lot of fun playing Mavuika throughout the last 7 days. Thank you to all of you that watched this video all the way to the end. And if you enjoyed the content, consider clicking on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll catch you in the next one.